Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the February general outlook for the sign of Sagittarius. Alright, my lovely Sagittarius, you guys are up for your February outlook. Now, as I've said, this is a general outlook. So, this could be relating to many areas, right? It could be about career or work or abundance coming in, right? It could be about a power dynamic that you're dealing with right now, friend situation, whatever the case may be. It really all depends on what your cards are. So just take what resonates with you. If it doesn't apply to your situation, then this reading isn't for you. It's only one reading, one outlook into one particular situation for Sagittarius. Now, I myself am a Sagittarius, so I do resonate with these readings quite strongly. And I do love reading for my Sagittarius collective. So, let's see. Straight out, you have a Three of Cups, celebration, Five of Pentacles, Hermit energy, and the Star, Four of Wands, the Tower, Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, she's always around, Five of Wands, and you come out with the Devil. So, interesting. Devil, of course, is talking about being a slave to our passions. At the bottom, though, we have the Sun coming out for you. What an interesting read, Sagittarius. As always, you have a lot of major arcana, don't you? You have 5 major arcana with the Sun there, and then that strong Knight of Pentacles. So, of course, right at the center, we're talking about this month for you, Sagittarius, being a month of celebration, yet at the same time a split, a financial worry, a financial building up. Sagittarius, let's get right into it. At the center of your reading, your energy this month is the Three of Cups. So it's a real feeling of wanting to celebrate, go out, enjoy yourself, and be around like-minded people, right? Have fun with your friends. It could be that you may have been feeling very solitary for quite some time. You do have the Hermit there in your focus. And I think for a lot of you Sagittarius, you may have been on your own for some time, working on your own for some time. And now this month, you're really feeling like you want to go out. However, you are crossed with a Five of Pentacles. So some of you are still struggling, I think, a little bit with financial issues, right? You may have recently just rebuilt your finances from the ground again. You may have gone through a particular difficult time, a split of some sort, whether it is at work or with friends or in a relationship, that really, where you really had to pay the price, right? And so you're kind of still having this energy covering you for February, right? And I'm looking ahead, and you do have a Nine of Pentacles coming in for you and a Knight of Pentacles. And with the Sun, of course, abundance comes in. But I feel like this is leftover, like you're still kind of, this may be for a Sagittarius who's still kind of working their way back up from the ground again, or having started over a while back, right? That's what it feels like to me. And so this month you are wanting to step your toe out a little bit and just enjoy yourself, right? So this is definitely about sort of socializing more. Certainly you have been very sort of hermetic, right? Well, hermetic, right? In the sense that you have been living like a hermit. You've been living very solitary. A lot of you have been really sort of working on your ambitions, your goals, and you've been doing it in a very sort of self-sufficient way. You may not have been going out and hanging out or partying or seeing friends or family. You may have been really off to yourself. But this entire time, and certainly in February, I think you're going to continue doing this, you will be working on a very strong ambition of yours, a wish fulfillment for your life. Because with that Star energy, we're talking about, you know, that is in the back of your mind. In front of your mind is the Hermit. So we're talking about, you know, everything that you're doing. The ultimate aim of it is to get you closer and closer to your wish fulfillment, right? And this, when we talk about wish fulfillment with Star, we talk about that kind of wish that we have for our lives, like, you know, the desire to have a certain sort of income or a certain sort of level of reward from work or a certain sort of accomplishment under our belt. Like, these are the big wishes we have for our lives, the desire of how we want to live our lives. And when we are ambitious, the star energy can come in to sort of inspire us, re-inspire us, make sure that we are firmly on this path, right? You do come into this month with a feeling of wanting to sort of have a new love connection. Some of you may indeed meet somebody this month. Four of Wands can indicate a new, really stable love connection coming in, but strangely, you do come out the month with the Tower moment. So again, I wonder if this month may not be a difficult month for love for you, Sagittarius, only in the sense that there is a love connection in. Four of Wands is definitely a soulmate connection. It's Venus and Aries, so it is a new connection, and it's generally a very stable connection. But with this Tower moment coming in at the end of the month, it may be that the Tower moment has nothing to do with your relationship, but it does indicate that this month is going to be a month of a big awakening for you in some area. We're going to get more cards on this to figure it out for you, Sagittarius, a little bit deeper. But I think a lot of it is going to have to do with your career, and you're building yourself back up, because this Five of Pentacles is your overall energy for February. So I think for some of you, there's going to be like a huge sort of Tower moment that's going to affect your path, this destiny, this path that you're on, this love connection. It doesn't feel like the Tower moment is connected with it. It does indicate, though, that I think for some of you Sagittarius, towards the beginning of the month, you will be starting off with a love connection somewhere. But I think this love connection is going to very quickly take the back seat still while you're working out all of this to do with your career, because you have a predominance of Pentacle energy here. You come into the month with a Knight of Pentacles, and you get met with a 9. So you are absolutely on a path right now, a career-minded path. Some of you are really trying to get that abundance built up. With this 5, with this energy here, really the feeling, that pressure of building yourself up again, you're being very sort of single-minded, focused, methodical. Ultimately, this reading is certainly for Sagittarius that is all about their money this month. Right? You are all about just carrying on. If you have a business, you are just really working hard. You're not stopping. And you're met with a 9 of Pentacles, which is rewards begin to come in for you in February, right? Money starts to come in. It starts to pay off. You know, a lot of it starts to pay off. And it is part of your wish fulfillment, this like ability. I want to say for a lot of you, it is reaching a certain level of abundance, right? A certain financial stability. I think in this day and age, financial stability is one of the biggest pressures that we all suffer under, because a lot of us are unhappy with our jobs, or the jobs aren't paying enough. You know, there's this constant sort of imbalance between being able to do what you love and what you have a passion for, and trying to survive and make enough money, right? So certainly for you, Sagittarius, February is going to be a great month of money beginning to come in. And I think this Tower moment is going to be something to do with that, because this is the end, towards the end of the month, you have this. And I think the fact that the amount of perhaps success that may come in for you, or it may come in in a very different way than you expected, right? There's going to be some really large impact about all of this coming in for you this month, but it is a powerful impact. And I want to say it's a positive impact as well. Because with 9 of Pentacles coming in, this is just reward. And you do have the Sun here at the bottom of the deck. So the Sun indicates that clarity is coming, abundance is coming, confidence is coming. The energy for you to be able to blossom and grow is what the Sun also brings. So it's a really good, prosperous time for a lot of reasons. And for that to come in, as an energy as well, underlying rather at the bottom of the deck, is kind of underlying all of this. This is ultimately what you are moving towards. It's interesting though, one of your, in your position of your hopes and dreams and your fears, you have a 5 of Wands. And this can be a fear, well, certainly, I'm not going to say a fear, but you don't want this kind of strife and bickering, right? So 5 of Wands is all about a power struggle. It's very competitive. I want to say for some of you, you're feeling like somewhere in your mind, you're hoping you're not having to sort of deal with this energy. You're not wanting to have to compete with somebody over perhaps somebody's affections, because we're not really sure how this is turning out. It starts, but then there's no other signal about what's going on with it throughout the rest of the month, right? The rest is much more to do with your career. Yet here you have a Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands can oftentimes be a kind of power struggle for someone's affections as well, right? Because this is a very competitive power struggle. This is when everybody's trying to be the best, and they're sort of really arguing and bickering. It can be quite petty. And it's in a position of something that it's your wishes, your hopes and dreams, but it's also your fears. And so it could be to a certain degree that, yeah, you're hoping to perhaps beat out the competition for whatever your desire, right? And I do feel like this is perhaps something to do with love, right? Since we do have the Four of Wands here. But yeah, at the same time, you're really not wanting this kind of energy, right? You're really not wanting having to deal with this. And it could just very well be that this is a learning process with this new relationship, you know. Excuse me. So you round your month off with Devil energy, and this is really interesting because with the Devil and the Sun to be here at the bottom of the deck, the Devil generally talks about being careful not to become a slave to your passions, right? It talks about making sure that you have positive creative outlets so that you don't descend into sort of codependency and addiction, toxic relationships and things like that. But it's ultimately for this to come out like this, for you to have such good aspects around you with the Nine of Pentacles, rewards coming in, and the Sun here. It does indicate in a way, but you do have this Five of Wands, so this bickering. There is a negative energy. It does indicate that towards the end, the outcome of the month for you, February, Sagittarius, is that you're going to have to be very sort of conscientious, I think, in a lot of ways to sort of transcend yourself. I think it could be that there is a fine line you're going to be walking in February where maybe because as a result of an increase of money coming in, maybe because of the influence of this negative energy, you may be lured down the path of perhaps drinking too much, spending too much, shopping too much, you know, just being a little bit overly decadent. Yet at the same time, you are sort of blossoming with the Sun, right? You're blossoming, your career is blossoming, or you're certainly your path towards financial abundance, your business career, what have you, is blossoming and rewards are coming in. And there is room for you also here to then excel and be even more creative and more successful. So you're going to be faced, I think, this month with not so much even a decision, but it's going to be a lot of different choices throughout the month where you're going to have to be choosing, like, well, which way do I go? Do I want to be more disciplined and buckle down and carry on for the big payoff and the bigger sort of sense of satisfaction when I'm able to sort of focus on my creative, outlet, my creativity? Or am I going to be sort of like decadent, maybe a little bit lazy, and just descend and let myself go a little bit, party maybe too much or what have you, whatever it is for you, right? And I think a lot of this has to do with this Tower moment that you are having this month, Sagittarius, because I think a lot of it is going to be like a wake-up call in a sense that you are working really hard for something. You're on your path here with the Star, right? You have been, and I think for a lot of you, you have been and will be also quite solitary. You will have been living quite a hermited life anyway. So it is part of this backlash of wanting to perhaps be a bit more decadent feels like it is a sort of a swing of the pendulum, right? For some of you Sagittarius who maybe haven't been out, maybe you haven't had the money because you've been working up out of a very difficult situation financially. So you may not have had the money to go out. You may not have had the time. You may have been working on yourself spiritually. You've certainly, like I said, been working on achieving your goals, right? Out of the spotlight. And yet, so this month, I think the Tower moment is a case of you really realizing that you may have to find a balance, right? And watch out for the tendency perhaps to swing from one to the end. Because to go from a hermit to devil is like really going from sort of one lifestyle to another lifestyle that's way more decadent. Let's just see what your clarifiers are, and then we're going to call this your reading for February. Ultimately, it indicates a month of a lot of success suddenly coming in for Sagittarius, who's been working really hard on a particular objective, right? And, the strongest cards are really these ones. You do have a lot of partying going on and socializing, and it could also be that for some of you, the nature of the work that you're doing, because you're becoming successful in it, it naturally is pulling you into a lifestyle where you are going out more, socializing more, spending more money, partying more. And it's fun and it's interesting. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that for some of you, because you haven't been out doing that, and that is going to be quite central to your month, there is this fine line where you have to be very careful not to become overindulgent. Three of Pentacles, there's your Hierophant. I was wondering if the Hierophant would show up. There's your Tower moment again. And the Knight of Swords. Okay, so the Knight of Swords is the same as the King of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Discs. So more disc energy, more abundance coming in, more indications that you've really building yourself up from a position where a lot of you, this is going to be a big amount of success that has come in after a while of really having to build yourself up or having had nothing. Because the Queen of Discs talks about coming from, really nothing, a barren wasteland almost, and having worked, having put all your blood, sweat, and tears into your craft or your job or your work or your business, and really having built up all of this opulence and this garden in and of yourself, right? The Queen of Discs is very, very closely related to the Nine of Discs in that way, because the Nine of Discs here is also that same person. Someone who's really also continuing to take care of their body, take care of their health, take care of, you know what I mean? Very Taurus-like energy. Now, you have your Three of Pentacles coming in, so certainly there is gain coming in. There is you have Three of Cups here, another three, so this talks about interest coming in, right? So certainly you are being pulled out of your solitary life, because for some of you, the job that you're doing or the career that you're in, now that the ball is rolling, it is requiring you to be way more social and way more outgoing. It is requiring you to talk to more people or see more people or communicate with people in a certain, in a much more now that the success is coming in. You may have been able to work behind the scenes for quite some time and be on your own. But now that everything is rolling for you and you're starting to manifest and achieve your goals, you're coming out of sort of your solitary mode. And I said it was interesting that the Hierophant would come out, because the Devil is the 15, which is considered, it's the second 5. The first 5 is the Hierophant. And so the Hierophant and the Devil are really strongly related. Here we find our commitment being sort of tempted, right? And here with the Hierophant, our commitment is not tempted at all, which is why it's the card oftentimes for, bullheadedness. It's the card for Taurus. It's the card for those who are just utterly committed to their higher center, their moral center, their spiritual center. It can be the card for a spiritual teacher, but more than anything, it really talks about, because 5 is the number for power struggle. With the Hierophant, we find ourselves not having any power struggles internally like we do with the Devil, because here we are so completely committed to our faith and to our belief, right? And so this serves as a rock, as a source of strength for us, and we don't have those internal struggles. And it's interesting that it would show up, because I was thinking about it being, that this is a fine line you're walking this month. And I think the Hierophant comes out over the start, because this month in the back of your mind, everything that you're doing is really sort of being informed by the fact that your ultimate goal is to achieve your dream. I don't think you're going to be sort of too much pulled aside by this sort of possibly more decadent behavior, more extreme, more like, lazy, lavish, just throwing caution to the wind. I do think that ultimately the Hierophant is going, your commitment to your ultimate goals and dreams are going to win out, because that is where your heart really lies, right? And this is going to be sort of the energy that's constantly there in the back of your mind, because this dream you have for yourself, Sagittarius, is a huge dream. You're really trying to manifest something really big. For some of you, I feel like it's definitely a business of some kind, or some kind of an artistic endeavor that also then brings in money. Because with such strong sort of pentacle energy, prosperous Knight and the 9 and the Queen, it's very, very prosperous for you this month, Sagittarius. And so you come in this month with a Tower moment again. So here's the Tower moment coming out over this 4 of Wands. So it could very well indeed be that your Tower moment this month involves a love connection, right? It may be a love connection that's coming back in for you. It may be a reconciliation of some kind, but for some reason you have Tower here and Tower here. So 2 Tower cards to come out in the same reading. A lot of times for my readings, if I do have a Tower moment in the reading, a lot of times the clarifier will come out again. And it just indicates that this is just to reconfirm that something out of the blue shocking is going to happen with result to you finding this new lover. It could be something you never expected. It could be somebody coming back into your life that you never expected. It could be meeting somebody new that you never expected. Somehow a Tower moment is absolutely connected with this new love. And it's interesting, you have a Knight of Swords coming out here too. So this is somebody who is, the Knight of Swords is the same as the King of Swords in the traditional deck. This is the Thoth deck Knight of Swords. And so, the King of Swords is very domineering. He's very sort of, he's the fiery aspect of air. So this is someone you can really talk to, Sagittarius. They're very fiery, but they love to converse with you. They're very sort of staunch, they're very opinionated, but they're extremely intelligent. It could be that this is the person who's coming in for you, or this is the person that this love connection is about. And yet there is a huge moment that's happening with this connection in February. And I think it is going to be ultimately a positive moment, because you have, like I said, the sun coming out. But, Tower moments are still shocking, and whatever the case may be for you, again, it could feel like it could be somebody coming back into your life that you never thought you'd see again. It could be a reconciliation you never thought you'd have. It could be meeting somebody you never thought you'd meet, or meeting sort of the type of person, it could be meeting somebody that you had dreamt of. Whatever the case may be, it is going to feel very divinely led and very sort of wow. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. This is your reading for February, your general outlook for Sagittarius. I do hope you connected with it and gave you some insight, some clarity on what you might be going through this February. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Follow me on Instagram at Bow and Arrow Tarot so you can get updated on when I'm uploading my videos or premiering them. Follow the links in the description to your other readings, or the links on the screen for a private reading. If you have any questions or any issues booking a reading with me, all you have to do is email me and I can work through that with you manually. But other than that, my lovely Sagittarius, have a wonderful month. This is an exciting month for you, so I look forward to February for you. All right, guys. Bye-bye now.